If you could go back in time, what would you change about your educational experience?
Oh my god, this is one of those ones I always want to talk about.
What does a good schooling experience look like? The answer will vary from person to person, but that is the kind of question we have to ask ourselves before we teach. Each student's experience in school will be different, so how can we, as educators, ensure that the student has a positive experience? We have to navigate all of this while the education system itself changes and isn't consistent. Education is a rapidly changing landscape, so how can we draw on past experiences and use them moving forward?
To learn and understand how people feel about education in school, we had to speak with students. Whether current, past, or lifelong learners, these are the stories that matter. We spoke with friends, family members, and strangers in the community to gauge public sentiment towards school. We then compared these findings with published research as well as our own experiences as both students and future educators to understand how education is truly perceived. Here's what we found.
I would say probably adventurous.
Memorization.
Controlled.
Difficult.
Challenging.
Unconventional.
Clearly, not everyone had a positive experience with education. Why? What factors contribute to negative experiences? A prevalent issue is mental health. 76% of teachers express concerns for students' mental health, but many schools don't have the necessary in-school supports for these students. Many of the people we spoke to shared similar concerns. When the stress of a school environment contributes to mental health issues, a vicious cycle is created. Stress from school causes issues with mental health, which makes school more stressful, which makes it harder to perform your best as a student. Without intervention, the cycle continues, and issues are exacerbated.
A survey from 2021 conducted by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that 3% of high school students experience unstable housing. With the highest rates being among students of color and LGBTQ students, this makes them more likely to experience poor mental health outcomes, including suicide. As an LGBTQ student myself, I've experienced firsthand what it feels like to not feel like I can be my full self in the classroom and feel like I need to hide my identity. And that influenced both my motivation and excitement for learning, but also my sense of self. Our current school system is not one that supports students facing adversity, discrimination, and/or depersonalization. To address this, we need to meet the needs of the whole child. A child is not a data point or a statistic. We as educators need to be aware of a student's backgrounds, needs, and socio-emotional development.
Education to me is a way for people to understand the importance of learning.
To me, education is everything.
It means the pursuit of knowledge and passing down knowledge from generation to generation.
It opens doors for futures depending on how high you go and how, what your job needs. Everything is education. Even if you're a trade, you always are learning something.
I feel like education to me is just a way to commit to self-improvement. Like the more you educate yourself, the more you're improving in terms of your skills as well as just your knowledge of the world. So the more education you receive, the more you develop.
I think the best part of my educational experience was the people I met and the teachers who showed that they actually cared about my education and not just in class learning off slideshows.
The people I met, if that was classmates or teachers, my parents raised me to be able to communicate with adults very well. So I had a lot of strong bonds with teachers mainly in high school. And I've met some amazing people as in my classmates.
Meeting the different teachers that I've had and learning new information from them.
Probably the access to special education 504. It was a new school. They just didn't have the means. They tried, and it's gotten a lot better. I know people that are there now, but when I was there, they had been open for exactly 1 day. So,
feeling like you're not good enough because of a grade, and things. Yeah. Just that aspect.
Growing up, and I grew up with undiagnosed ADHD because growing up a girl, they don't really test for that and they don't really acknowledge that. So later in life, like in high school, that's when that really started showing up and no one really advocated for me.
Learning how to study or like learning how to learn things on my own.
Oh, to not just memorize, but like to actually also like learn the subject, because I want to like to fall in love with it instead of like doing it, like learning my subjects just to learn them.
I would stand up for myself more to teachers that underestimated me. So I feel like I had a lot of those teachers that would like not let me take like a placement test, 'cause they thought I couldn't do it. But I learned like in middle school that I could, so I was like, okay, right. You just wouldn't give me the opportunity.
If I could go back, I'd probably try a little bit harder and a few times, but a lot of the time, at least throughout high school, it felt like it was more just the foundation of help that was there at the school wasn't really all that adequate, you know?
This is one of those ones I always want to talk about. I think AP classes and pre-AP classes are the stupidest thing imaginable. Like, it's setting you up for failure. It's setting you up to have a worse GPA at the end of the day. The AP classes are maybe you're going to get that college credit. Pre-AP, there's no point to those at all, especially for like honors courses. Those are dumb because all they're doing is tanking your GPA and reducing your chances at scholarships in college.
Man, I don't know. Like, it's gotten more focused on like STEM subjects, I feel like.
Definitely from now. It kind of changed from back then, because back then they didn't have technology, so like they're probably like way smarter than us. Now we have like AI and all that, so like I feel like by the generations we're gonna get a bit dumber.
I think it started as like the pursuit of knowledge and we need to learn the basics and all that, but now I feel like continuously it's getting more censored and it's no longer like, well, of course it depends on what subject we're talking about, but a lot of it to me feels censored, like in English and history, and like certain things aren't being taught anymore.
I think education is now more focused on being able to discover things that you like, as before it was educating on what like one specific way of thinking or to be in one specific field.
I mean, how far we've come with, women in colleges where we're sitting right now. But I think that there's a long way to go.
So what can we do with this? We found that the education system is flawed and it can easily hurt and hinder students. However, even when we're presented with all of these negative aspects, we can still find positives. Teachers can make their classroom a safe space for students to learn and be themselves. Students could be given a chance to flourish, and it is up to us as educators to give them the support that they need to flourish.